If you are sunny side up, 1 foot in front of the other, and can understand the words coming out of my mouth, what up now? What up now? What up now? What up now? I am not, in fact, Andrew McLean. Could never fill those shoes. His feet are a little bigger than mine. But I'd give it a whirl. Maybe I could stuff some tissue in them or something. You know, maybe get one of those new gadgets where, you know, it's a big thing now for kids to not show any creases in their sneakers.
I've seen this.
So they make these platforms that go inside of your shoe that make it so when you walk, your foot doesn't come up as much.
They can't be healthy.
Therefore, not creasing the front of your sneakers.
This cannot be good for your foot.
It can't.
There's no way. And like, you can clearly tell the people who are using them and walking in them, because I mean, they're not quite like walking like the old Japanese ladies that they used to have their feet wrapped up.
Oh yeah, but close enough.
But it's close. It's close enough. Why did they used to wrap the people's feet anyway? Was it so that their wives couldn't escape?
No,
Legs
No,
get
it was
free?
something about keeping their feet really tiny. It was
Yeah,
supposed to be some sort of a really big thing in Japan or China or wherever it was.
supposed to look, you know, symbolize beauty and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, women that have big feet can be hot. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I mean, who looks at their feet?
You might be surprised.
You know, there's
I probably
There's a
would
lot
be.
of people with a foot fetish out
There's
there.
a whole section of the World Wide Web with people interested in feet. AJ and I have often
Looked at each other's feet.
we've often speculated
That'd be a little weird.
that if he and I created a multiracial check out our feet OnlyFans, where like, you know, like we squished grapes, but it was like one of his feet and one of my feet, and like we would never like cross the streams.
2 left feet.
Yeah, squishing grapes.
So not one left foot, one right foot going on there.
I mean, like we're not opposed to 2 left feet or 2 right feet. It's probably gonna be extra just because there'll be more camera work involved.
Oh, okay. So you'd have like one camera on one foot and then take another camera and put it on the other foot.
Yeah.
You know that they
Okay,
would just
I'm
strap
just-
a GoPro to like their shin.
See, that's what I was thinking. You're trying to get it all in one shot, man.
Steve, this is why we need you on board for this project, because you know you're bringing all new, like you're like Steven Spielberg for foot fetishes.
Is that what it is? Okay, thanks.
I mean, like, you know, if this whole idea of like strapping a GoPro to my ankle, or maybe even as a pinky toe ring or a middle toe ring, to really give the viewers
Get
like
you right into the action.
right into the action. I mean, that's the type of you know, breakthrough OnlyFans videography that it'll take it, you know, take some of the stigma away from things.
'Cause that's what we've been missing in OnlyFans is the fact that we didn't have a real director.
Yes, yeah. There was no actual cinematography. We're gonna bring Richard Dixon on board for the music. Yes, he will and narrate them.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be fantastic, actually.
Are you going to make up a script? Or are you just going to let him ad lib?
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be better if you let him ad lib.
Oh, absolutely. It'll Talk 99.5 Christmas foot fetish.
It'd be like the Edinburgh documentaries. He just have Dixon force a British accent.
Yes, he does that well.
He does
He
that.
does,
yes.
yeah. No,
I may
it'd be
actually get
hilarious.
may actually
It
get
comes
old
out
buddy
very much
from,
like Stewie from Family Guy. Just warning you.
That's even better.
We may bring in the old buddy from Family Pet Cremation
Oh, there you
to
go.
take care of some of the scripts.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You know, feet don't fail me now. If you lose a foot, call Family Foot Formation. 205-545-9950. That's just a small sample of what's in store for today. You know, we all know when these big time radio show hosts make a call to the bullpen It's not so somebody can come in and perform up to their standard. It's so that they can come back from break and be like, did you miss me?
I don't know. So just like a bullpen, right? They come out for just a couple innings,
Right.
and they knock it out of the park,
Right.
and then they go back.
Yeah.
Because we can't do it every day,
No.
right? That's the thing. It's like I was.
We have real jobs.
What's the song? I'm good. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm.
But I could be as good,
I'm as
once
good once
I
as I ever was.
Yeah, exactly.
Toby
ever
Keith.
was.
Yeah.
Just like yesterday, in honor of this time slot, today's big stupid question of the day.
Ah, okay. We're bringing it back.
Yes, I do every time that we're on from 10 to 2, just because I like to pay homage to my guy.
Sure.
It's a new era. It's a different thing. I get it, but I'm a big stupid question of the day fan. Tomorrow's is going to be epic because I think it was actually the big stupid question of the day for tomorrow is actually the thing that spurned my very first radio conversation with Richard Dixon back when he was on WAPI.
The AM side.
Yes, when he was on the AM side. And actually, my wife initially made the call and put it on speakerphone. And that was long enough ago that she called on a flip phone.
Oh.
No, that was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think it was singular.
Oh.
And
it's changed names 3 times since.
Singular wireless at that point. But nonetheless,
Wow.
today's big stupid question of the day is breakfast food better at breakfast or dinner? It really is. It is. I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. I enjoy breakfast at dinner so much more than I do breakfast at breakfast.
Well, I think it's probably because you expect it then.
Well, there's
that
probably some fairness to that, but I really think that for us as the family, one of the things that I really love about cooking the breakfast meal is that there are enough moving parts and enough different things that nobody's in anybody's way, and everybody can kind of contribute to doing it. One of the girls inevitably cracks the eggs and does the eggs. Somebody else makes the biscuits. One of the other kids is over there flipping the pancakes.
That's usually how it goes at the house.
Stephanie supervised. So I really cherish those mealtime opportunities when we're just a family preparing our sustenance together, and it's not just dad's cooking or mom's cooking or one of those things. Because I believe in food as as a constant tool to bring people together. So for me, breakfast is just better at dinner, and I also think that there's more time at dinner to prepare a little bit. I can put the scrambled eggs over the double boil and make them super fancy. If I want to bust out and make some crepes, I can make some crepes.
Some what?
Some crepes.
Yeah, that.
Crepes.
Yeah.
Weird.
Where you may not have the time in the morning.
Because you might be in a rush trying to get kids off to school, you off to work, whatever.
Yeah, maybe take your breakfast at dinner to a next level and pretend that you're at some fancy schmancy hotel or country club. I mean, is there anything better than like an omelet bar? Like the guy who stands there with the one-eye burner hooking your omelet up to order?
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
That's awesome.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Also, I would recommend if you go to JD's favorite breakfast spot that's not his house, if you go to the Waffle House, order their traditional omelet. If you just tell them you want an omelet, they stick the little thing down, the little burr blender down in the cup, and they whip all that air into it, and it's just like super fluffy and airy. Like your omelet comes out like 6 inches tall, but it's like over greased and over buttered, and it makes your stomach hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
They will fix you, and they actually on their secret menu just fix you a traditional omelet where they just add like a little cap full of milk to your 2 eggs and whip it up with a fork and then into the pan, and so it doesn't come out all whipped and extra greasy and buttered and fluffied, which is my preference. It's my preference. Yeah. We got to take a break already, but when we come back, we'll get Mr. Deere's answer, and we'll get Mr. West's answer, and hopefully we'll get your answer. Today's big stupid question of the day is breakfast better at breakfast? 205 or dinner? 205-545-9950. This is the line on Talk 99.5. Welcome back into the line on Talk 99.5. Steve West back there on the ones and twos, ripping off and kicking off with my favorite Christmas carol, for sure. Run DMC's A Christmas in Hollis. Absolutely love it. Today's big stupid question of the day. Is breakfast food better at dinner than it is at breakfast? There's no right or wrong answer, but we'd like to hear from you. 205-545-9950. In addition to that, we're getting close to Christmas. And we're almost at the point where unless you pay a bunch extra, You may or may not get what you want delivered to your casa. So I submit to you that the best thing for you to do is get off that couch or that chair or get out of your car and go to a brick and mortar building and buy some Christmas presents. Now, obviously, if you have the ability to do so, shop local and with a mom and pop person. But even if not, even if you've got to go to one of the big box stores, you're still supporting and stimulating your local economy, which helps to stimulate your school system and your roads and all the other things around you. At some point, convenience can't mean as much as supporting another human being. And I get it, you're supporting the people who have jobs at Amazon and da-da-da-da-da. But Amazon don't give two flips about your local sports team. I'm sure that you can apply and they'll send you some money for something, but I'm sure that process is, long and arduous.
Well, the landscape has kind of changed as of late now that there is at least in Alabama and most states across the country have started implementing a standard online sales tax.
Right.
And that's posing some of its own problems in terms of from what I've heard anyways, in terms of the city getting that, or municipality getting those tax dollars.
Right.
But it's 8%. And so at the end of the day, the savings that you used to get by going online and not having to pay sales tax,
right,
that's all but gone.
Right.
I mean, now don't get me wrong. A lot of places still have insane tax rates, 10%, 9.5%, things like that. But there are places like Redland, we're not in the city limits.
Right.
So like our sales tax is 5%.
Right.
Which is 3% less than the online sales tax.
Right.
So the cost savings that or perceived cost savings isn't really there anymore either.
Right. Yeah. Even more reasons and benefits. Jason is on a cell phone. He was so gracious to give us a call this morning. Jason, blessings. Merry Christmas. What's happening?
Merry Christmas. Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Very well.
I love the topic. Love the topic, man. But it kind of threw a little bit of nostalgia at me, and it took me down a rabbit hole that kind of got me to thinking. Man, I remember when I was a kid, breakfast time, man. My grandmother always kept sizzling.
Oh.
And now I'm a bacon advocate, but it got me to thinking about what all the stuff that's disappeared from the grocery stores.
Right.
You used to have some competitions on the chocolate soldier.
Yes.
I can't find them anywhere. But I remember eating the scrambled cheese eggs and with the sizzling. And my grandmother used to they sell these little cheese wheels that are cut into pie pieces.
Yeah.
She would put that real soft, like creamy cheese, unreal good, with some white American with it also with my sizzling. And I was a happy kid back then. I was born in the 70s, so I don't know if many of you remember all that back in the day. But sizzling,
I absolutely remember the sizzling.
I wanted all three of my kids to taste it. I couldn't. I hadn't been able to find it in 15 years.
Well, I don't even remember what kind of meat sizzling was. Was it some sort of pork byproduct? It did not hang out for very long. I think it was somebody's first healthy attempt at bacon or healthier run at bacon, but it failed.
They've got a turkey product there that looks like it now, but it's not, and I have no idea what was in it. Didn't care at the time, but it fried just right. Was very good. Now I'm a bacon advocate. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But it brought up you talking about this, brought up that thought, and then I got to thinking again. It's like, what is all this stuff that's disappeared from back then? That's not around anymore. And some of it good, some of it not. But I was just going to get your take on that, and if y'all could think of anything else yourself.
Right on, brother. We appreciate you, Jason. Have a great one. Thanks for the phone call, brother. Man, I hadn't thought about sizzling in a minute. I do remember the commercials. That was still a very heavy Sanka instant coffee time, which Sanka is the instant coffee that you just add to hot water and stir it around is making a roaring comeback. It's become very popular amongst the Gen Zers.
Say
For
that again.
whatever reason.
What kind of coffee?
Sanka, like the instant coffee,
Oh.
just the grounds that
Yeah.
you just put
That,
into the
Folgers and Maxwell
yeah.
House and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
My mother-in-law drinks a version of that. She has for forever.
It's pretty gross, but I guess it's better than not having coffee. And I think that it was invented originally for our men and women out in the field.
Yeah, I believe so.
During war, so that they could have a cup of Joe.
Now we just carry, coffee makers and all the things with us,
Right.
So
And it just the little Keurig 1 cup deals, they're okay, but there's just something about like fresh percolator coffee that I don't know, it's the smell, the aroma, the nostalgia, the whole thing for me.
I'm not a coffee drinker. Never have been. I get a bunch of trash talk to me because I got through the Marine Corps without becoming a smoker and a coffee drinker.
Right.
And they're like, "Are you sure you were in the Marine Corps?" I was like, 100%. But it's not from lack of trying. Like
Right.
I used to travel around when I was doing the consulting for Splunk. I used to travel with coffee gear
Right.
because I was on a mission to find good coffee. Guess
Sure.
what? Doesn't exist. I would buy it all over the place.
Well,
mean,
I can
cold brew. I mean, everything.
I hadn't really thought about it till now, but I guess that's one of the things that I can check off the list. Coffee did not stunt your growth
No, or cigarettes.
or cigarettes.
No,
But I'm
just-
kind of with you, JD. Same kind of thing, but in radio. I mean, it seemed to be the classic thing in radio to where you became a coffee drinker because you work all kinds of different shifts at pretty much the drop of a hat. I've never acquired the taste for coffee. It's just never been where I got the caffeine from.
What about whiskey?
Of course I did. There ain't enough whiskey, though, to make coffee taste good. Sorry.
No, there's not. I've had some pretty decent coffee, but still.
It'd be like Bill Murray and Scrooged.
Right.
It'd be like the whole glass of vodka, and you just kind of wave the tab can over it, and you didn't really pour any into it.
Tab. What
Memories.
a terrible name for a soda.
It's got to stand for something, doesn't it?
It's got to. It's got to. We'll find out. You're listening to The Line on Talk 99.5. We'll come back right after this. Welcome back into the line on Talk 99.5. The Taste Buds filling in for Andrew McLean today, Chubfather and JD, who can be heard each and every day, 6 to 7 p.m. on Breaking Bread Radio, this fine station here. We had a caller a few minutes ago. The big stupid question of the day today is do you prefer breakfast at breakfast or do you think breakfast at dinner tastes better? We had a caller who was talking about Sizzling and other products that have kind of disappeared from the grocery store shelves over the years. One of the ones that I thought of, and they probably still sell it, but in our food boxes in the early 80s, we used to get packets of the Carnation Instant Breakfast because you were going to love it in an instant. And it really just felt like I was drinking some chocolate milk, powdered chocolate milk. I don't know.
It was.
I don't know that it didn't taste very well. Maybe it was full of the nutrients and supplements that I needed to get me through the day when I was hungry because all I had was a breakfast shake. But it doesn't seem to be very prevalent anymore. And that's the whole thing about, Dixon and Vining were talking this morning about, bags of potato chips being $7 and they used to be $5, and before that they were $3, and how they don't buy name brand things. And I don't know all the ins and outs of the grocery store business and of the food business and the restaurant business. I just know what I know. And it appears to me that a lot for the acquire things to sell things. Yes, there's definitely some increase in cost this owner, but in a lot of cases, national chains that I just get consumer, and it's the beautiful thing is that we all whether or not to spend money on a product. If everybody, if enough people got together and said, you know what, I'm not paying $7 for a bag of chips, and did it for long enough, because you don't have to have them.
SNAP benefits, though, man, that's like a big part of this. 100% is, because like you don't care how much they cost if it's not your money.
Sure.
And so I think I think a lot of this may end up getting fixed,
right,
with whatever they're able to do with the SNAP benefits.
Yeah, I mean, we never in our food boxes, which is how we sustained ourselves, as for a lot of my childhood, and even when we got on food stamps. I remember being a cashier at Piggly Wiggly on Claremont Avenue as a younger person, and there were the list of things that you could not purchase with your food stamps. They were even more particular about the stuff with WIC then. Like if you were buying juice, there were only a few brands of juice that had to be, a certain amount of actual fruit juice,
right?
More than to qualify to be purchased with WIC. But I just think back to our food boxes, and we got some meats and some potatoes and some cheeses and some vegetables and things to that effect. But we did not ever receive anything that was anywhere close to be considered a food luxury. What I'm saying? We didn't get snacks. We didn't get sweets.
Yeah.
We got general.
Yeah, but who are you to tell
sustenance.
somebody what they can eat with somebody else's money, Will?
There was a time. Again, and I'm with you, because I was cashier. You remember Bruno's?
Yeah.
I was cashier at Bruno's, where what is it? Hoover Tack is now, and as they were getting all that computer stuff done, what you would do is scan the whole entire order of whatever somebody's got, and
Yes.
then they would give you the WIC or the SNAP or whatever it was, and you would scan that in, and it would immediately say, okay, this is covered by that.
Right.
This is not. This is how much they owe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, I don't like I'm not suggesting that the answer is what I went through. Like for my particular case, in my particular situation, you know, going from literally being dropped off at school in a Mercedes or a Cadillac to riding the bus and standing in the free lunch line the very next school year, there were literally 2 lunch lines. The people who could afford to eat from their parents sending them lunch money went to one line, and us broke folks literally went to another line with a big ass red sign above it that said free lunch.
Wow. Okay, I don't remember that.
Like, and I'm not suggesting that, you know, that's a great idea, but I very specifically remember having thoughts in conversations with friends of mine who were also in the free lunch line that we were going to do whatever it was that we needed to do in life to make sure that our children didn't walk through a line with big blazing letters that said free. That we weren't going to cast that onto our kids.
Well, and probably a lot of kids said that, and this is where we are. This is their solution, right? Because that age group that you were then, they're the ones that have been voted into the political seats. They're the ones that are, you know, controlling the purse strings, and this is exactly how they're making that happen.
Right.
There's, I don't know, there's a level of, like, yeah, that's embarrassing, right? And it's not the kid's fault.
It was
right.
I was getting ready to
right.
make that
And
point
so,
too.
like, so I don't know that, like, the big red sign saying broke dudes here,
right,
right?
which is basically
right,
what it was.
Yeah, your parents suck. Come get free lunch, sort
Yeah.
of thing, right? For the kids, I don't know that that's the right answer. However, for the parents that are shopping,
Sure.
right, because they're doing they would generally be doing most of the shopping.
Yeah.
The food stamps and that sort of stuff, where there is a level of embarrassment or whatever there, is probably not a bad thing, right? Because it's not the kids. It's two very different
Sure.
issues right there.
Sure.
To me.
And you know, and I don't for as much as I have had varying degrees and thoughts about my father and his role in the whole deal. You know, I can look back at it now knowing the full story. And our initial brokenness wasn't necessarily his fault either, you know, and so you hate for that to be on them, and
Yeah, but it's his responsibility.
It is absolutely his.
So, I mean, it
is
doesn't
absolutely his responsibility, and you know, and like there are definitely situations that, you know, maybe there's a little bit of both. Maybe there's a little bit of both in this. Maybe you can take the approach of, you know what, hey, listen. Your first 3 months in this program we're going to give you your EBT card. And when you walk through the grocery store line, you're going to pull it out of your wallet. And you're going to swipe it just like a regular credit card. And nobody behind you is going to know any different.
Everybody knows.
But, you know, maybe as we go farther along into the program, you know, if you're not putting an effort forward, if you're not trying to improve your situation, I'm not suggesting that you get a scarlet letter necessarily, but maybe there is something that forces and nudges your way into, and I don't know that I
Like a
don't know.
train horn that goes off when you swipe it.
I don't.
EBT here.
I know, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm
Lights.
trying to be like I don't want to be completely uncompassionate, and I don't want to be without apathy. But like at some point, you just have to make an effort to do better. And I understand that there are some circumstances and some situations that are what they are. But I don't believe that 40 million people can't go out, that a large percentage of 40 million people can't go out and make better and do better for themselves. Part of the problem is that they're told day in and day out, the economy sucks. The job market sucks. You can't do this. Look what all these rich people are doing. This person's holding you back. This person's holding you down. Well, listen, nobody in the history of anything ever grew from a place of comfort.
That's true.
You may hit a home run because you started on third base. Not everybody has that opportunity. Not everybody starts on third. So sometimes it's got to be uncomfortable, and it's got to be uncomfortable enough for you to get off your backside and go change and fix and improve your situation.
Yeah, because truth be told, if you're getting everything that you need or want,
right,
by just sitting there and waiting on a check and an EBT card, you don't have any incentive to actually get up off your butt and do anything.
You nobody ever grew from a place of comfort. It's not the way that it's supposed to be. And listen, and if we bring the we weren't designed to walk through this life alone. You are ordained to lean on the love of your Creator. He will provide you help along the way. There is a certain amount of belief and humility and want to that comes along with that. But you're never alone. You can choose to be alone, but you're never alone. Ever. So that's what I would say about that for this moment. Call us 205-545-9950. Hey, man, shout out your favorite local business.
There you go.
That's
also, got some texts regarding the big question, so we can do that after the break, too.
Sounds awesome. You are listening to The Line on Talk 99.5, hanging out with Taste Buds and Steve West. Y'all come back now. Steve West just doing what Steve West does back there.
Hey, you said you wanted off the wall. I'm
Hey, man,
finding off the wall.
I love it. I've actually never heard this.
No, this is the first time for me too, but it's Weird Al. I mean, you can't go wrong with Weird Al, can you?
No, you really can't.
No, not at all. A musician that doesn't, I don't feel that gets gets nearly the love as a songwriter than he should. And I get it. He's just, tripping and flipping and whatever. But like to take an iconic tune, an iconic melody, and put words to it that don't mess with the flow or the delivery or any of those things, is an incredible gift.
But on top of that, if you actually listen to his albums, if you go watch him in concert when he's going to do not just all of his parody songs,
right,
you actually realize he's a pretty good songwriter in and of himself, not just in taking parodies of songs, but writing his own stuff.
And it's just phenomenal at the accordion. That is one of the most difficult instruments to learn to play.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's just, to be able to pull and push air through a thing while doing the other things with your fingers, and like that's a lot of movement. I mean, it's like being a drummer with just your hands or something. You're just moving.
That's Rick Allen from Def Leppard.
It's pretty amazing. Steve in Talladega is on the phone with us. What's up, brother? Steve?
Hello?
Hello. What's up, man?
Can you hear us, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. You're on the air.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what was wrong with my phone there. Will, you are the man you are today because of the embarrassment that you withstood as a child.
There's a large amount of truth to that.
You don't look at people, you don't see Hispanics or blacks, you see human beings, and that's the way we should all be treating one another. You're the great man you are today because of the childhood you had.
No question.
Sometimes that embarrassment lights a fire under your butt to make you go and be a better person.
It does, but it also, I think that there are probably some cases where it does the opposite. But like I reached out and found a support system for myself. That nobody did anything financially, but I was able to look at the people around me that were successful and willing to just have a conversation with me. And I was willing to ask questions. So it's very difficult to do it on your own, but once again, you got to lean on,
you don't do it by yourself. No, none of us do it by ourselves.
No. And I appreciate it, brother, very much. And there are definitely times where I wish that I had not suffered the physical and emotional and sexual abuse and all the other things that came along with that. But the older I get, appreciate isn't the word by any stretch. But you are 1,000% correct that I would not be anywhere close to the man that I am today without those particular sets of experiences. And I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I fail on a regular basis, and I can look at myself in the mirror and tear myself down quickly and understand and realize the things that I need to do to be better. And I'm not even a third of the way there. If I was to analyze myself, I'm not a third of the way there. I'm not a third of the way to the man that I want to be, but I'm trying.
You look at the way you've raised them kids, and you are doing an awesome job.
Thanks, brother. I love you and the missus to death. This was an unsolicited phone call for the record. I didn't pay Steve.
Don't get a big head either, Will.
I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, the head's already big.
Yeah.
One day I'll come in and I want to talk to JD because I think him and I would be able to talk about some issues.
Steve, you come sit in the studio with us anytime you want, man. I think it'll be
Absolutely.
a blast.
All right. Hey, y'all take care. Have a great day. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Appreciate
Yes,
you.
sir.
Love you, friend.
Thank you.
Bye.
You know, Steve's giving me flowers, but that dude is a fantastic human being, an amazing individual. Like he's the first air marshal that I'd ever known. And some of his stories are quite entertaining. And he's a big fella. You know what I'm saying?
He's a big one.
He's not a guy that you would necessarily think that had the concealed carry in his waistband. May even be a candidate for the 2-seater situation. Now he's trimmed down a lot, but there was a time where he may have been an air marshal in two airplane seats.
Sometimes it's
know.
the people that you don't really think about.
Absolutely,
when you
but
think
he's
about it.
also a volunteer firefighter, and
Cool.
yeah. So
All right.
lots of good stuff.
Before we wrap up the hour, I want to do some of the texts here.
Please.
So your question of the day, repeat it real quick.
Is breakfast? Do you enjoy breakfast at breakfast or breakfast at dinner more?
There you go. Shane replies, Denny's after a concert at 2 a.m.
Let's go.
Rhonda says, I was going the opposite than you will, but it makes perfect sense how you explained why you enjoy breakfast at dinner, major quality time for the family, and it is delicious.
Thank you.
Angry Trucker, I enjoy breakfast at dinner more, I guess because I'm not rushed or thinking about the long day ahead.
Agreed.
Yep.
Nick gave us a recipe. That's what it looks like. An old-fashioned buttermilk biscuit topped with peppery sausage gravy, patty of freshly shredded hash browns, fried in lard, topped with 2 over-easy eggs, patty of fresh breakfast sausage, and 3 strips of crispy bacon. Always better at 7 p.m. than 7 a.m.
I love that that's on the text line because that's commitment.
No
'Cause
doubt.
That's a lot to text out on with your
Yes.
thumbs.
Yes.
Dixter asks, what about electric perked coffee?
There's nothing wrong with electric perk coffee.
What is that? You'd still make that with the same thing, like the
Yeah, it's just
freeze-dried crystals,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a coffee person. What do I know? Dinner breakfast spread with a defined, well-made Bloody Mary. There you go. You're having brunch is what you're having.
I find no fault. I mean, look, if you're gonna have breakfast at breakfast, and that breakfast is gonna include a Bloody Mary at 7 a.m., hey,
Go for it.
you do you.
That's
You like
right.
the spicy Bloody Mary? Well, you don't like spicy.
I actually, it's one of the things that like I will put myself through the pain for like a 7:30 tea time in the morning.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary on the first tee box.
Spicier the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed says breakfast is good anytime. I kind of agree with that, but my schedule's so weird. I'll eat breakfast or I'll eat dinner at any time of the day because it's just so messed up. Everyone's sitting there thinking, I get off at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and I've been thinking about lunch already for 2 hours.
Right.
Everybody just now is starting to think about lunch.
That's very true. This is your lunchtime.
It's past my lunchtime, actually.
Stop looking like you're gonna eat me, Steve. You're not that hungry.
Not yet.
I don't even taste good. It's just my cheeseburger. We'll be back after this.